You're watching the Stories That Scare channel. There is no turning back now.
I almost skipped my 10-year high school reunion. Looking back, I really wish I had. Because when I walked through those doors, I didn't recognize a single person in the room. But every single one of them recognized me. And there was one other thing I noticed. Almost everyone looked about 25 years older than they were supposed to. Almost everyone. Because standing near the back of the room was one guy who looked exactly like I did. 28. His name was Toni Hinder. And before that night was over, I found out why the rest of my classmates looked old enough to be our parents. Toni had been selling something of great importance. This happened in Columbus, Ohio in 2024. My name is Dean Good Shepherd. I was 28 years old, and I'd graduated from Northgate High School exactly 10 years earlier. Class of 2014. I wasn't one of those people who'd been counting down the days until our reunion. When the invitation first showed up, I deleted it. Then another one came. Northgate High School, class of 2014, 10-year reunion. My mom thought I should go. You might have fun. Mom, I didn't have fun with half these people when I saw them every day. Dean, I'm kidding. Go. So I went. Saturday night, Riverside Civic Hall, and the first weird thing happened before I even got out of my car. I pulled into the parking lot and slowed down. Every handicap space was taken. Every single one. Buick, Cadillac, another Buick, a minivan with a wheelchair ramp, some giant boat of a car that looked like it had been driven directly out of a retirement community. I checked the invitation on my phone. Riverside Civic Hall. Correct address. Maybe there were 2 events happening. I parked near the back. As I walked toward the entrance, I passed another row of cars. Handicap placard, handicap plate, another placard. Okay. Then I saw the banner, Welcome Back, Northgate Eagles. Underneath, class of 2014, blue and silver balloons, our school colors. I walked inside, music, food, dance floor, old yearbook pictures projected onto a wall. Probably 70 people. And I stopped. I didn't recognize anybody. Not one person. Wrong reunion. Had to be. Then a gray-haired woman behind the registration table looked up. Her mouth dropped open. Dean? I looked behind me. Nobody. Yeah? She jumped out of her chair. Dean Good Shepherd. People started turning. Before I could say anything, she came around the table and hugged me. Oh my goodness. Hey. Then she grabbed my face and pinched my cheek like my grandma would. Look at you. I pulled my face away. Ow, you haven't changed one bit. Thank you. I had absolutely no clue who this woman was. She had gray hair, wrinkles around her eyes. She looked at least 50, maybe older. She kept staring at me. Dean? Yeah? You don't recognize me? I looked at her name tag. Melissa Green. My stomach did a little flip. Melissa? There he is. No. Melissa Green sat behind me in English. Red hair, freckles, always chewing gum. This woman looked old enough to be Melissa's mother. You're Melissa? She laughed. Who else would I be? Holy poop on a platter. She laughed. Still Dean. Then something started beeping behind us. Beep, beep, beep. I turned. A gray-haired man sitting at a table reached into his pocket. Sorry, fellas. Medicine time. He pulled out one of those little pill organizers. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I watched him shake 2 pills into his palm. He noticed me staring. What? Nothing. He swallowed them. You get old, Dino. It'll happen to you. I frowned. Dino? I hadn't heard that in years. Before I could ask who he was, somebody walked past us. Jingle, jingle, jingle. I turned. There was this older guy with a giant ring of keys clipped to his belt loop. I mean, a serious set of keys. House keys, car keys, little keys, big keys. There might have been a key to Fort Knox on there. Every step. Jingle, jingle. I said, What are you, the janitor? He looked at me like I'd insulted him. No, I like knowing where my keys are. Apparently everybody within 3 counties likes knowing where your keys are, too. Melissa laughed. The guy pointed at me. Same old Dino. There it was again. Dino. Then I noticed something else. Cell phones, clipped belts, Everywhere, leather holsters, plastic holsters. One guy had his phone on one side and keys on the other. Another had his phone, keys, and a little flashlight attached to his pants. I stared at him. This man wasn't dressed for a reunion. He was Batman from ARP. Then, beep beep, I jumped out of the way. A man came cruising past me on a mobility scooter. Dino! I stared at him. Ricky? Still kicking. You're on a scooter. I said kicking. I didn't say walking. He kept going. I looked at Melissa. Why does everybody look so? I stopped. Say it. Different. You were going to say old. No. Yes, you were. Maybe a little. Then I saw our teachers. That shut me up. Mrs. Chandler, my sophomore English teacher, was there with a walker. Mr. Raines, who Hargrove, was sitting at a table with a woman wearing scrubs beside her, a personal nursing assistant. I remembered Mrs. Hargrove being close to 60 when I graduated. She had to be, 95, maybe older, but there she was, alive, barely. She lifted one shaky hand. Dean Goodshepard. I walked over. Mrs. Hargrove. Her nursing assistant helped her sit straighter. Mrs. Hargrove smiled. Great Bambino. My mouth fell open. Even she remembered. Then somebody yelled from the dance floor. Dino! I turned. This gray-haired guy was dancing like an old man cutting the rug. Little shuffle, finger pointing, shoulders bouncing, a tiny hip move that probably required medical clearance. Then he saw me. His eyes got huge. The Great Bambino! People cheered. I froze. That nickname wasn't printed in our yearbook. I played baseball at Northgate, and after I started knocking home runs over the fence, the guys started calling me Dino the Great Bambino. The old guy shuffled toward me. Look at you. Hey, no clue. He pointed both thumbs at himself. I'm still bad as Michael Jackson, but nice enough to be Michael J. Fox. Then he tried to spin. His false teeth flew out. Clack, right onto the dance floor. I lost it. Everybody did. He bent down, picked them up, wiped them on his shirt, and shoved them right back into his mouth. Still got it. I was laughing so hard I could barely talk. Yeah, you've definitely got something. He slapped me on the shoulder. Great Bambino. Okay, I give up. Who are you? His smile faded. Dean, I'm serious. It's Bobby. I stared at him. Bobby Haynes? Who else? No way. Bobby Haynes was our catcher. Big kid, dark hair, one of my closest friends on the baseball team. And this guy looked old enough to be Bobby's father. Bobby? He started laughing. You really don't recognize me? Not even a little. Maybe this'll jog your memory. He leaned toward me. Nolan Dog Park. I stopped. What? His eyes lit up. Oh, you remember. He pretended to swing a bat. Senior year, you crushed that ball over left field. My stomach tightened. Bobby pointed dramatically across the room. Splat! People started laughing before he even finished. Right into a fresh pile of doggy dirty doo-doo. Oh my gosh, I remembered. Every bit of it. Bobby was laughing harder. We didn't have another ball. Don't. Somebody had to go get it. Bare-handed. Bare-handed. Everybody around us cracked up, Bobby yelled. And the umpire just wipes it off and says, 3 people shouted together, play ball! Now I was laughing. Because it happened. Exactly like that. The umpire didn't care. We wiped that nasty baseball off and kept playing. Bobby slapped my shoulder. That poop ball was good to you that day, Dino. You hit another homer with it 2 innings later. Okay. Then he leaned closer, raised one eyebrow. Tell me something, Great Bambino. What? Did Ole Dino do a doo-doo on another baseball for good luck? Shut up. The whole group lost it. Bobby went right back to dancing like an old man cutting the rug. And for about 10 seconds, I forgot how weird everything was. Then I stopped laughing. Because that story was real. Nolan Dog Park, senior year. The umpire. The second home run. Even the poop-covered baseball. This wasn't some story somebody could have found online. Bobby had been there. These people really were my classmates. I just didn't understand why they looked 25 years older than me. Then a woman behind me said, Dean? I turned. Gray streaks in her hair, lines around her eyes, but there was something familiar. especially the tiny scar above her eyebrow. My smile disappeared. Jennifer? Her eyes filled with tears. Jennifer Parker, my high school girlfriend, my prom date. She touched my face. You really haven't changed. It's been 10 years. She stared at me. Dean? What? How are you still 28? The room went quiet. I laughed. What kind of question is that? Jennifer didn't laugh. Bobby didn't laugh. Melissa didn't laugh. Then I heard, because you shouldn't be. Different voice, young voice. I turned. A man was standing near the back of the room. No gray hair, no wrinkles, no walker, no medicine organizer, no life alert, no phone holster. He looked exactly my age, 28. I recognized him immediately. Toni? He smiled. Hey, Dean. Toni Hinder, finally. Somebody normal. I practically ran toward him. Thank goodness. Toni frowned. For what? Somebody else moisturizes. He didn't laugh. I pointed around the room. What happened to everybody? Toni looked at Melissa, Bobby, Jennifer, then back at me. You really don't know. Know what? He studied my face, then my hands. You're 28. Yes, exactly 28. What does that mean? Toni's expression changed. Not surprise. Concern, he whispered. You weren't supposed to come. I laughed. Well, good seeing you too. So am I. What happened to everybody? He stepped closer. Dean, you need to leave. Why? Now. Behind us. Beep, beep, beep. Medicine guy's alarm again, he sighed. More pills. I pointed. That's why. Toni grabbed my arm. Dean, let go. Go home. Then Jennifer said, Tell him. Toni froze. Bobby stopped dancing. Melissa walked away from the registration table. Tell me what? Nobody answered. Jennifer looked at Toni. He's going to figure it out. Toni's jaw tightened. I pulled my arm away. Figure what out? Then Mrs. Hargrove spoke from her table. Her voice was weak. He's been taking them. I looked at her. Taking what? She raised one trembling finger, pointed at Toni. Years. Silence. I laughed. Nobody else did. Years? Jennifer nodded. From us. I looked at Toni. What is she talking about? Toni sighed. It's complicated. No, taxes are complicated. Whatever this is needs explaining. Bobby walked over. Look at me, Dean. I've been trying not to. Funny. Then his expression hardened. I'm 53. No, you're not. Yes, we're 28. I should be. That sentence landed differently, Jennifer said. We all should be. Melissa walked over. We're not. I looked at Toni. Then everybody else. Why? Toni said quietly. Because youth has value. I laughed again. Okay. A lot of value. What are you talking about? He looked toward the doors, then back at me. There are people who will pay almost anything to be younger. Plastic surgery? No. Stem cells? No. Then what? Years. He said it so calmly, like he was discussing stocks. Somebody who's 70 gives me enough money. I can make them 60. I stared. Somebody who's 80. He shrugged. Maybe 65. That's impossible. Toni looked around the room. Is it? I looked at Bobby, Jennifer, Melissa, Mrs. Hargrove. My stomach turned. Where do you get the years? Toni didn't answer. He didn't have to. I looked at my classmates. No. Jennifer nodded. He takes them from us. How? Bobby said. Little at a time. Why would you let him? We didn't know. Melissa pulled out her phone. She showed me pictures. Our 5-year reunion. Everybody looked older than they should, not dramatically. Maybe 5 or 6 years. Then other photographs, birthday parties, school events, charity dinners, every time Toni appeared. Everybody else looked older afterward. Jennifer said, We thought it was stress. Bobby laughed bitterly. I thought I was just aging like milk, Toni said. I didn't know what I was doing at first. I looked at him. At first? He nodded. I discovered it accidentally. And then? He hesitated. I got good at it. That sentence chilled me. Good enough to make it your profession. Toni didn't answer. Jennifer did. Yes. I stared at him. You sell people's years? Toni shrugged. People buy everything else, not somebody's age. You'd be surprised. How much? Dean, how much? Toni looked me directly in the eyes. Millions. Nobody moved, he continued. Actors, CEOs, people with money, people who don't want to die? Mrs. Hargrove whispered. Monsters? Toni looked at her. Customers. I felt sick, then something clicked. Why do you still look 28? Toni smiled, because Toni hadn't just been selling years, he'd been keeping some. For himself. I backed away. You're disgusting. Dean, you don't understand. No, I understand plenty. Then Toni looked at me differently, not like a classmate, like merchandise. He stepped closer. You really are 28. Stop saying that. Untouched. My stomach dropped. Jennifer stepped between us. No. Toni ignored her. 35 years. What? You have at least 35 clean years I could move without damaging you permanently. Move where? People are waiting. For my years. People pay very well. I backed toward the memorabilia display. Old Northgate trophies. Pictures, baseball jerseys. A bat. Several baseballs. Toni followed. Dean, you could be wealthy. I'm already 28. Exactly, he smiled. You have plenty. Then I saw something hanging from Toni's belt. A crystal flask. Beautiful. Old, filled with this swirling silver mist. It moved like smoke underwater. Faces almost seemed to form inside it. Jennifer whispered. That's it. I looked at her. What? Our years. Toni grabbed the flask. Don't. Bobby stepped forward. Give it back. No. Toni, these years are already sold. Mrs. Hargrove's nursing assistant stood. What did you say? Toni looked toward her. Then I noticed something. The nursing assistant looked young, really young. Maybe 25. Too young. Toni noticed me looking. Dean. I looked at the flask, then at the memorabilia display. Baseball. Bat. Something inside me clicked. I picked up the bat. Toni laughed. What are you going to do with that? Bobby's eyes got huge. Do you know? I picked up a baseball. The room got quiet. Bobby whispered. Great Bambino. Toni stepped backward. Don't be stupid. I tossed the baseball into the air, caught it, tossed it again. Bobby suddenly grinned. Do it. Toni grabbed the flask tighter. Dean, I tossed the ball higher. Hey, Toni, what? Ever hear about the poop ball? I threw the ball into the air, stepped. Swung. Crack. I absolutely smoked it, straight across the reunion hall. Toni ducked. The baseball missed his head. Hit the crystal flask. Smash. Silence. Then, whoosh! Silver mist exploded through the room. Toni screamed. The mist hit the ceiling, rolled down the walls, swirled around tables. For 1 second, I thought I'd made everything worse. Then the mist separated. Dozens of streams, each one shot toward a different person. Jennifer got hit. She gasped. Her gray hair darkened. Wrinkles disappeared. Her shoulders straightened. 20 years vanished from her face. Then more. She looked 28. Exactly how I remembered her. Jennifer? She touched her face. Dean? Bobby got hit. His white hair turned dark. His wrinkles disappeared. His back straightened. Then, plop. His false teeth fell out. He grabbed his mouth. My teeth! Real teeth had grown back. I pointed at the dentures on the floor. Leave those. They've done enough. Bobby screamed. Dino! Medicine guy got hit. His hair darkened. His alarm started going off. Beep, beep, beep. He looked at his pill organizer, then at his hands, then threw the organizer onto the table. Not today! Life alert guy got hit. He looked down at his medical button, ripped it off. I'm free! Ricky's mobility scooter stopped. His legs straightened. He slowly stood. Everybody cheered. Ricky took 2 steps, looked at the scooter, then sat right back down. I stared at him. Seriously? This thing has a cup holder. He hit the throttle. Beep beep, and took off. The key guy got hit. His hair darkened. His face became young, 28 again, but the giant ring of keys stayed clipped to his belt. Jingle, jingle, I pointed. Seriously, they're convenient? You're 28, and I know where my keys are. Jingle, jingle, Then the cell phone holster guys got their youth back. Still wearing the holsters. Apparently Toni could return their youth, but he couldn't undo 35 years of bad fashion choices. Then the mist reached the teachers. Mrs. Chandler stood up from her walker. Mr. Raines straightened. Mrs. Hargrove gasped. Her nursing assistant backed away. Mrs. Hargrove's wrinkles softened. Her eyes cleared. She looked decades younger. Then the nursing assistant screamed, because she was changing too, only backwards. Her hair turned gray. Her face wrinkled. She grabbed the table. "No!" Mrs. Hargrove stood. "No walker, no help." She looked at the woman. "You!" The nursing assistant tried to run. She couldn't. Her body aged too quickly. The mist was taking something back. All around the room, youth was returning to the people it belonged to. It was like some geriatric wizard had burst through the ceiling and decided my elderly classmates had suffered long enough. People were laughing, crying, hugging. Bobby started dancing again. Except now he actually could dance. Ricky was doing circles on the scooter even though he could walk perfectly fine. Medicine guy was stomping on his pill organizer. Jennifer grabbed me and hugged me. "You did it!" For about 5 seconds, it was beautiful. Then Toni screamed. We turned. He was on the floor. His face was changing. 28, 30, 40, 50. His hair went gray, then white. His hands shriveled. 60, 70, 80. Toni collapsed inside his clothes. He looked impossibly old. Maybe 100. Maybe more. The mist poured out of him. Every year he'd kept. Every year he'd stolen for himself. Gone. I walked toward him. He looked up at me, barely able to speak. "You... what?" "You don't understand." "I think I understand plenty." He grabbed my ankle. His hand was ice cold. I wasn't keeping those years for myself. I stopped. "What?" His eyes moved past me, toward the other side of the room. "I wasn't..." He struggled to breathe. "Keeping all of them." I slowly turned. The reunion hall had gone quiet. Standing near the wall was Mrs. Hargrove's nursing assistant. Except she wasn't old anymore. She wasn't 25 either. She looked younger, maybe 21, perfect skin, dark hair, standing straight. Smiling. Mrs. Hargrove whispered, "That's not my nursing assistant." The young woman smiled. Toni was shaking. I looked down at him. "Who is she?" His lips barely moved. "My best customer." Nobody moved. The young woman looked at the shattered crystal on the floor. Then at Toni. She sighed. "Well..." She looked around at all of us. "That's inconvenient." Bobby stepped beside me. Jennifer did too. The woman smiled. Then her eyes settled on me. "Dean Good Shepherd." I tightened my grip on the baseball bat. She tilted her head. "The great Bambino." My stomach dropped. "How do you know that?" She smiled wider. "I've been buying from your class for years," Bobby whispered. "Dean..." The woman looked me up and down. 28? Toni made a weak sound from the floor. "No." She ignored him, completely untouched. Jennifer stepped in front of me. "Stay away from him," the woman laughed. "Oh, sweetheart." Then something happened to Jennifer. One gray hair appeared, then another. A wrinkle formed beside her eye. "Jennifer?" She touched her face. The woman inhaled. Jennifer aged another year. Then Bobby Gray appeared at his temples. Medicine guy screamed, "Not again!" Everybody started backing away. The woman closed her eyes and breathed in. She wasn't using the flask. She didn't need it. She could take the years herself. Toni hadn't been the monster. Toni had been the salesman. She was the supplier's reason for existing. I raised the bat. She looked at it. "You're going to hit me?" "No." I looked down. The baseball I'd hit into the flask had rolled back toward my feet. I picked it up. The woman smiled. "Another home run?" Bobby whispered. "Dino." I tossed the ball into the air. "Caught it." The woman laughed. "Do you really think a baseball is going to save you?" I looked at Bobby. He grinned. Then he reached into his pocket and pulled out something brown and disgusting. I stared. "No." Bobby smiled. "Great Bambino." "Where did you get that?" "Don't ask." "Bobby." We need the legend. Oh, absolutely not. He rubbed it on the baseball. I gagged. Jennifer screamed. Bobby! He handed it to me. Poop ball. I stared at it. You are disgusting. Worked last time. The woman stopped smiling. Interesting. I looked at her, then at the ball. Oh. She backed away. I smiled. You don't like the poop ball. Dean. Oh. I tossed it once. Caught it. You're scared of the poop ball. Put that down. Bobby started laughing. Dino? The entire baseball team joined in. Dino! The woman backed toward the wall. I gripped the bat. Great Bambino! Toss, step, swing, crack, the ball flew straight at her, she screamed, and disappeared into a cloud of silver mist. The baseball hit the wall. Splat. Silence. Then Ricky rolled past on his mobility scooter. He looked at the mark on the wall, looked at me, then said, That's gonna stain. Everybody lost it. Even me. I laughed until my stomach hurt. I laughed until I cried. Maybe because we'd survived. Maybe because my 28-year-old classmates had spent half the evening looking like retirees. Maybe because Bobby had somehow brought the poop ball legend back to life. I don't know, but eventually, we had ourselves a reunion, a real one, 28-year-olds. Old friends, old teachers who finally looked the ages they were supposed to. Music, food, dancing. Bobby kept his real teeth. Medicine guy turned off his alarm. Ricky refused to surrender the mobility scooter. The key guy still jingled everywhere he went. And almost every guy kept his phone clipped to his pants. Like I said, the magic could restore their youth. It couldn't fix everything. As for Toni Hinder, he survived? Barely. Last I heard, he's living in a nursing home outside Columbus. He's somewhere around 112 years old physically, and apparently he's the most annoying resident they've ever had. Keeps telling everybody he's 28. Nobody believes him. I almost feel bad for him. Almost. Because before I left that reunion, Toni told me something I've never forgotten. There weren't just a few people buying years. There were hundreds, maybe thousands. People with money. People with power. People you've probably seen on television. People who look unbelievably good for their age. And according to Toni, there are other youth brokers. Lots of them. So now whenever I see somebody who's 75, but somehow looks 40, I don't wonder what moisturizer they're using. I wonder, who looks 95 because of them? And if you're planning your own class reunion, go. Have fun, catch up, dance, tell stupid stories, but if you walk through those doors and everybody looks 25 years older than they're supposed to, check the parking lot. If every handicapped space is full, one guy has his medicine alarm going off. Another has a life alert. Somebody's circling the buffet on a mobility scooter. And half your classmates have their phones clipped to their pants. You've got a problem. And if there's one person in the entire room who hasn't aged at all, don't ask about his skincare routine. Don't let him touch you, and for goodness sake, find the nearest baseball bat. Because you never know when Dino the Great Bambino and the legendary poop ball might have to come out of retirement.